Sup guys, I'm AUSSIE METALHEAD. I'm doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year. I'm also doing Patreon requests over on Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get to request an album. And also, every single Deftones album is considered a classic. So if you request over there, a Deftones reaction will be done within a month. But yeah, I am doing all of Deftones albums because I listened to Adrenaline a year ago and I liked it quite a bit. And I listened to that due to the fact that I heard a few Deftones tracks when I went to Good Things Festival with Bring Me the Horizon, which is my favorite band of all time, and I got very interested in them because I hadn't heard them before, but they sounded so familiar to me, and that's because they influenced basically every single band that I listened to. Linkin Park being the one, like most formative one for me, and then going into Bring Me the Horizon when Chester died. Yeah, and ever since I started listening to their first album, I absolutely adored it, and I've been going through chronologically throughout all of their albums. The last one was Deftones Self-Titled, which I think is a really slept-on album. I quite liked how it delved into a tiny bit more of an emo tinge to it, and because I was born in 2001, I'm well okay with like the kind of like My Chemical Romance sort of post-hardcore and stuff like that. But yeah, I've done Adrenaline, into Around the Fur, which is my favorite so far, into White Pony, which I thought was really good. I didn't expect it to be like less heavy than Around the Fur. I thought it was going to actually be around the same level of heavy stuff. But we have they basically quickly turned into this album here, Saturday Night Wrist, which I've heard Cherry Waves. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I haven't heard any other songs off this album, but I didn't expect like White Pony and Deftones to do such a quick heel turn after Around the Fur to get into this more Deftones coded sound rather than the new metal tinge with Deftones that Around the Fur was. It was quite a quick turnaround, and considering the fact that Cherry Waves is the only track I know from this era, and it is one of my favorite songs of all time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this album, especially considering Hole in the Earth is my partner's favorite track, so I wouldn't be surprised if I also love this one. But yeah, let's see how it goes. To me, this is what Deftones sounds like from the Cherry Waves that I've heard. This is what I think of when I think of Deftones, so let's see. Oh, it's more like distortion. Actually, this is heavier than... So far, I feel like this is a bit heavier than the self-titled, and maybe even White Pony now. Like, it has a bit more like grit to it. Ooh. I love contorted his voices. Ooh, I have a guitar here. Chino's voice is just so gorgeous. Besides that strain and grit that makes it just so powerful and textured and stuff. Oh, I love that, like, scratchy scream. I feel like even if this album isn't as consistent as like Around the Fur or White Pony, I feel like this is my favorite Deftones. Like, I've only heard Cherry Waves and now Hole in the Earth, right? But this style is it feels like the perfect melding. I absolutely love nu metal stuff. Like, so Around the Fur is my highest rated at the moment, but this feels like it speaks to me more. It has like that. It has a bit more of an emotional edge to it. Apart from like the angst like bouncing around. Now that I've gotten like older, I don't need as much angst in my music. It feels like I want it to like touch my heart a bit more, and it feels this era of Deftones does that a whole lot more. And I also really respect how this sound feels so unique to me. Where like with the nu metal, it's shaded a lot in nu metal. Who would be shocked? But it still has like Deftones written all over it, like Around the Fur and White Pony, of course. But it feels like it's a lot more a part of the scene. Where like with this, maybe it's just the fact that I haven't heard enough, but there just doesn't seem like anyone has this sound. Like, this feels like what Deftones has created. Now, I could be completely ignorant, because if you didn't know, I started this channel because I've only listened to about 10 albums across my entire life before the channel, and it's basically Linkin Park, Bring Me the Horizon, all that jazz. Over the course of the past year and a bit, I've listened to about 1,200 albums. But so it could just be a blind spot. Like, maybe this sound isn't quintessentially like Deftones, and he's actually taking Chino and the band is taking a lot from other stuff, but like this sound, this era feels like Deftones. Like, it feels like their unique print on music landscape, and it is it feels like I can't get this feeling from anything else. And even if this doesn't end up being my favorite album, because maybe there's like 2 or 3 songs I don't like, where I feel like Around the Fur and White Pony are just so consistent, this still feels like the spiritual my favorite part of Deftones, and it's just from 2 songs. That's just how powerful this sound is and how unique the sound feels to me. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And if you haven't watched one of my videos before, I do ratings on the side. These are my first listen ratings. I listen to these projects multiple times over before I post them to my Discord, but you can chat to me about my ratings. I'm always active in that. I also post it to Album of the Year, which is the music rating website that I use. It says 600 reviews. As I said, it's about 1,200. I have an average rating of a 6 out of 10. I solely think that's because I'm listening to more classic albums, because that's the reason why I started this channel, is I never listened to a Nirvana album from front to back. Like, I never listened to In Bloom or anything like that off Nevermind. I only knew Smells Like Teen Spirit. So this channel is to delve into all of those, like Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Deftones and System of a Down and all of that. So I listen to more good music than bad. Also coupled with the fact that over on my Patreon it's $5 a month and you get to request an album, and I have 200 subs over there now, and they all have the ability to request an album, and they're going to request something that's nice. Like, they're not going to request something that sounds bad. So because it's 200 albums a month that I have to do, I can't really react to anything other than Patreon requests. So yeah, it's going to just skew a bit higher. I think spiritually I have a 5 out of 10 average, so if something's a 5.1, I think it's above average. That doesn't matter with this track, because to me, this is perfect. This is just a 10. I actually don't give out 10s often, but this is everything I would want in a Deftones track, and there's no other band I can think of that can do Deftones like this, except maybe if I delve into more recent bands that are obviously inspired by them, like Loathe or something like that, I could find the same sort of thing. But I don't think I can find anything about around this time that sound like this. No one has the voice of Chino as well. That's another hard part to grapple with. Like, you need bands that are raised on Chino for 30 years for them to get close to that voice. It kind of reminds me of Chester Bennington in that way. No one has Chester's voice. And Deftone, Chino's voice is just so fucking gorgeous. And no one has it. So, but if there is another band that you think actually gives off a similar vibe to this era of Deftones, I'm all ears. I would adore to have more music like this, because it is just magical that we got in the first place, sort of thing. Ooh. This is a heavier. This is a lot heavier than the subtitle. Ooh. This feels like the usual, like, sound that they came from. A good version of it is, like, mixed really well, I like it. But it sounds like normal new metal sort of stuff. So cool. This is a great song. Oh, it's just like, it feels like they've always been consistent, actually. But they feel like so veteran status with a track like this. Like, they've done it so much that, like, they know how to make it just hit. I love that more like electronic beat in the back. That's a really nice section. This is amazing. I would give it a 9. Like, I was thinking more towards an 8 because it's like, it feels like this sounds like the weirdest thing ever, like a cookie cutter great song because they're a great band that knows how to do nu metal. But there was just some like added textures, like this fade out here with like the nice, like more electronic sort of sound. The textures within it, it just felt like it like grew into itself a bit more to give it a bit more oomph than just like a great band churning out obviously their great like a great song that is in their style that they're used to. It kind of shocked me, like it surprised me, and in the end how fucking great it was. And it also made me realize, like, because it felt like well within their grasp of like a great song that you expect by them, it's made me think about like their greatness in some way. And it's so interesting because doing this channel, I've realized how short music history sort of is with like modern music. Because like whatever with like the 60s and 50s 60s, like basically the birth of like rock and roll stuff into popular music, all that stuff. It's crazy to think about time and like legendary status and stuff like that, because the same level of time there was between like Deftones' first album and Rubber Soul, and the start of metal with like Black Sabbath and Helter Skelter and stuff like that. The same level of time between Adrenaline and the start of metal with Black Sabbath is shorter than now to Adrenaline. And that is just crazy to me, where it's like, because I grew up in 2001, those are like legendary bands. They've done so much. And it's weird with enough time pass, like, because I'm 24 now, that Deftones is basically that. Like, and seeing how, like, I didn't know of Deftones But because their influence is so vast, you feel it anyway. So like seeing bands like Deftones, My Chemical Romance, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Korn, System of a Down, all these bands get legendary status towards like my generation and stuff like that. The same way that these like entities that felt larger than life, like you couldn't actually touch them, like a Beatles, like a Pink Floyd, like a Black Sabbath. They're on like the same sort of level in some regards, because they're just legendary bands now, and they've been around for just as long, as like they were like as I said, like Black Sabbath was to people in the 90s. It's crazy to think about, and I don't know. I don't have like anything like super poignant to say about that. It's just sort of something like I observe and I think is really cool, and it has like a weird, neat, sentimental vibe to it. Like yeah, just truly legendary bands, and it feels so strange because like listening to Linkin Park growing up, they're an amazing band. I would root for them. I'm a massive fan. But there feels like something strange about how the fact that like they're legends, kind of like they're legends now, and but I remember when they were like not. It's just I never would have expected for whatever reason that I would have that sort of feeling with music that I am attached to, if that makes sense. Like I never thought I would get the same experience as someone that like was there with Black Sabbath for the first time and saw their come up and their rise and to fame and notoriety. I never thought anything I listened to would ever get to that thing because these bands have such a great mythos around them. But Deftones, I don't know if there's any like generation gap thing, but like Deftones is, I can't like there's very few bands that are on the same level of like pedigree to younger generations than Deftones. It's like Oasis, Deftones, My Chemical Romance, Linkin Park, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like those are like the greats. You can't really touch them, sort of thing. Radiohead is another one I missed, but yeah, just amazing, truly legendary. A longer track. The mixing on this album has been, I think, better than the last album too. Ooh. A track that just lets Chino's voice sing. I could be in love. Wait, Surge from System of a Down wrote some of these songs? Huh? I think it's the largest Deftones has sounded. Like it's massive. Also, this is easily one of the best album covers. It's like Around the Fur, and this one is the best album cover in my opinion. Boy. I'm getting a bit goosebump here. Ew. Just how large and atmospheric and gorgeous his voice sounds. Oh, I get like goosebumps on my hair. It's like my hairs are tingling. My legs have goosebumps. Holy shit. Like, this part of my head hurts because of just how much I'm like, oh. I love how, like, kind of industrial it sort of sounds as well. What the fuck? I think it's my favorite guitar playing on already. Like, we're 3 tracks in. I know Cherry Waves is the next one coming up too. It's like, we're 4 tracks in. It's like, I think this might be my favorite guitar playing on a Deftones album. That's my, alright. I think it has my favorite guitar playing. So far, it has my favorite, like, vocals. I think it's the best, like, produced with, like, how large and atmospheric it sounds. This isn't, so surely it just means it's the best. Like, I don't, it feels like the most creative. Like, you have, like, these crickets in the back, like, these nice, it's like dynamic. I don't know if I'm just like too much of a layman, right? Like, I'm coming from the outside, and from the outside, basically, and the only shit people talk about is White Pony and Around the Fur. Like, all the other stuff is like, oh, you're a bit of a poser if you're a fan of the other shit. Like, the real Deftones is new metal. They're new metal shit, and it's like, I don't know. When I hear a song like "Oh on the Earth Beware," Cherry Waves, it's like, that's a sound that I don't think anyone fucking else can do, and that sounds more Deftones to me than the before stuff. And that's not even to take away from the before stuff. White Pony is like a 9.3 out of 10 for me, and Around the Fur is a 10. I think it's a perfect album. But like, I was just reading the review, like some critic reviews, because on Album of the Year it shows some of the critic reviews, right? And there was like one, Q Magazine gave this a 4 out of 10. There's little of the fire and invention that characterized 2000's White Pony. For starters, I don't think that necessarily is a point to saying something's bad. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. But also, you're wrong. Like, I'm a newbie to this. Like, I'm new to it. So I feel like I don't necessarily want to have such grandiose opinions. But like, to me, I'll just say for me, there doesn't seem to be any way you could possibly think that White Pony has better production, and has as much fire as this. It's just different. If you like the angst of like a new metal sound, I think, sure, you could say it has this. But this sounds larger, and the emotions, I think, ring true so much more because of how large it sounds. And just because it comes from like a different medium doesn't mean it has less fire to it. I think this has more fire to it. Yeah, I love this album. I think, like, it's, listening to this so far has made me think, holy shit, do I have to go back and listen to all of my Deftones albums again? Like, all that I've heard? So, because, like, from these 3 tracks and going into Cherry Waves, I just have a feeling that this is the best album. Their best album. And I have the highest rating for a Deftones album is a 10 with Around the Fur, for me. So, maybe I have to find a way, like, not find a way because I don't like that, but like find a way to figure out what's going on here. Why is there a mismatch? Because I think this, so far with these tracks, even if Rapture, like Rapture feels like a labia to me, you know, a bit in that sense on Around the Fur. Like it's not super it's not like the most outstanding, like out of left field sort of sound, but it's really fucking great. And then Hole in the Earth, Beware, and We're Going to Cherry Waves here. Like these are such uniquely gorgeous, amazing fucking songs. Like I got goosebumps listening to Beware, and I didn't even know this existed. It feels like Saturday Night Wrist is actually kind of like underrated. I just don't know if that's a layman's opinion though, because I don't hear anyone talk about this album. But this is incredible. It feels like their most, like, maybe not technical, but like technical. I'll say technical. Like every note is just perfect. Every drum hit. Polished. It's their most polished, I feel. It's just one of the best songs of all time. I love that spin too. It's so controlled. Like, everything's so polished. Every fucking passage perfect flows into the next. Just like the tone of these drums and all of like the effects that come off of it, like it's just one of the best songs of all time. Like I think when I did a list of 2020 in 2024, the top 100 songs of all time, at that point I've only listened to like 150 albums. This was like top 10. I think it was 6. And if I'm being honest, I've listened to 1,200 albums more. This would still probably end in like at least top 20. Like it's just one of the best songs I've ever heard. And it's gonna be hard. Like there's nothing that has it. It's so fucking unique too. Like this is it's a I don't know if this is a crazy thing to say. It probably is, considering like the pedigree that these other tracks have, but like I'm not like mincing my words when I say this is like a top 10, top 20 song of all time for me. Like that's of all time, of all genres. And I know I like Aussie Metalhead, all that jazz, but like I would say some of the best songs of all time aren't like, I don't have a top 20 list of metal. That's not what all my top 20 songs would be. It's like actually there might only be like 3-4 songs in metal in them, because now I've listened to so much more. I would say that metal is just the genre it's the most familiar with me now. Like it's the most core to me. It's like punk and metal and hardcore and stuff like that. But like this song would be one of the best metal, like it would, I don't know what metal song would beat it. This better than Chop Suey to me. And I know that is like Chop Suey is obviously one of the best metal songs of all time. It beats Chop Suey to me. It beats any song off of Paranoid for Black Sabbath. And this is not even me like degrading those songs. They're literally the best metal songs of all time. But this song is just, it might be my favorite song, rock metal song of all time. It could be. I don't know about rock. I would have to delve into stuff more. Fuck it. I'll actually even look at my list. Let's see. Okay, when I did that list, I haven't heard this album, by the way. I've only heard one song. It's actually very similar to Saturday Night Rest in this regard. The only song that was above it, that it was rock or metal, was Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. Hurt and Cherry Waves, the best rock and metal songs of all time for me. Now, maybe there will be another one that I absolutely love, that I put above it, but if I'm being honest, like those two tracks, if I had to redo that list with all of the stuff I've listened to now, they'd probably still stay the same places. It'd probably be 1 and 2, Hurt and Cherry Waves for Deftones. Which, by the way, there's a decent amount of crossover with those two, I think. Like, sonically, I feel like there's a vibe here. And if that's, like, I feel like there's a decent amount of crossover with those two tracks in particular. And if you have any recommendations that you think might actually be a track that would dethrone that, or would be similar in that regard, I would love that, because I do think there is a decent, like, it's these metal sort of bands that have these amazing vocalists, these industrial sort of elements, and this, like, tenseness to the stuff, and there's a bit outbursts and stuff like that like pierces into your heart. Like, there's a lot of crossover with those two tracks, I think. So I would love more songs like that, because fucking Christ, I love these two. Oh, the vocals, bro. I love when they allow, like, Tina's vocals to just shine a bit more, you know? I feel like this track really is letting her out, take up the space. I like it's like a 2000s like sheen to some of these tracks. I really appreciate. The drums and guitar playing, like I'm bobbing my head to what I expected. I'll pause it, I'm sorry. I like the guitar playing and everything. When you see me bobbing my head, it's actually something a lot of people talk about. Because I've never heard these tracks before and I'm really fucking with the groove. I'm bobbing to like where I expect the beat to land next. Also, I have bad rhythm, so it actually ends up just being bad in general. But what's happening here is like, there's like a lot of like fills here and there that kind of just like make the tempo of this track or whatever feel a bit like unpredictable to me, which I kind of like. It adds a little flair to it. Like there's like a, I go like this, and then like there's like a fill in there to like extend it for a tiny bit, and then it doesn't have the same sort of like timing or rhythm to me. I could just completely be wrong on a musical theory level, but with what like I expect, I guess, when I'm bobbing my head to it, it's like a bit off kilter, but in like a really cool way. I really like it. Like, this reminds me a bit of like Surge's vocals here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one that Surge wrote. Yeah. Fucking hell. Who wrote the other one? No Surge on there. Wait, is that Surge's vocals as well? It could be, right? Yeah, it is. That's cool. But he's not even listed as well. Yep. No, it was Surge. So cool. I didn't even know that was a crossover like this. I'd say like a 9.5. Like I like it more than Rapture, but I don't think it's on the same level as like a Beware a Hole in the Earth. But really fucking solid. I really like this. I find it interesting. With the next track coming up, obviously, cheat code sort of thing. It's weird because I got a bit shocked when I was writing that down for the notepad, because I never really viewed these guys as like nerdy, if that makes sense. Like I viewed them more in the lines of just rock stars, like whatever you think a rock star is, and like that sort of like mystique to them, and like coolness factor is kind of what like Deftones brings to my mind. Where like there's other and also with how sexed up their music is, like like Gina's vocals are just so sexed up. Like I make the joke, I don't know, it is a bit crass, but I make the jokes quite often that like Deftones kind of sounds like a BDSM like dungeon with piss kinks or some shit. Like the idea of like Around the Furs like covers everything about that. Is like they just scream like, I don't know, BDSM sort of community, sexed up vocals, all that sort of jazz. Basically, like if we were in a TV show and a fucking character was going, like let's say it's like Cops, or whatever the fucking thing, going down the CD umbrella, it's True Detective, True Detective season 1, and they're going down to a CD underbelly to investigate like, I don't know, some sort of crime, but there's a kingpin that owns like a fucking BDSM sex dungeon that is there. They'll like walk down the stairs to these red lights and everything, and then fucking Deftones is playing. That's the band I'm thinking of that is playing it, and that's the vibe that their vocals sort of have. So for that to be the case, I never really viewed them through the lens of like nerdiness. But like there's other artists that have a lot, other bands that have like a lot of like girls thirsting after them, their sexed up vocals, all that sort of jazz. I don't know, but like they come across a bit more geeky, like a Panic at the Disco, or like People Love Gerard Way, or Black Veil Brides, or something like that. But like they're a bit geeky. I could see that they would have this. Like, a Vic Fuentes from Pierce the Veil. But, like, Deftones has such, like, a traditional rockstar energy to them that, like, the fact that they have, like, a bit of a nerdier streak in them is, like, a bit surprising to me. Or something. I don't know. It's not what I necessarily envisioned when it came to them. Also, I realized I'm talking about a lot more about the next track rather than this one. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Serge's vocals are sick. And I never knew that they had the crossover here, and it's kind of really cool that they did. I really like I really like that the giants in these scenes have crossovers, if that makes sense. Like, I would want to hear as many songs as possible, or hear about so many different collaborations when it comes to like a Linkin Park, Deftones, System of a Down, Korn, that sort of thing. Like, it's like I would want them to have all these camaraderie because they're all just legends, sort of thing. But yeah, going to the next track. I think the next track doesn't have any vocals, right? Because I just searched it up. Because that's what. If that's the case, I might not rate it. Because interludes I don't rate. Just depends how I feel about it if it's like a fully fledged song. It's long enough to be. I like the atmosphere. I feel like this easily is the best like guitar playing, atmosphere, production in all of Deftones' discography. And that, like, it doesn't feel close to me either. Like, and that's not, as I said, like those other albums, they're incredible. But it's just like, that is the main focus of this album to me, is just how fucking stunning everything sounds. This is really good, actually. I really like this. I love this. Usually, like, instrumental tracks, especially with bands like this, they're just worse, and not because they don't have vocals, but because they don't have the same level of, like, attention brought to them. But this feels like it does. Like, it just sounds so gorgeous. Like, this is not a skip, and usually instrumental tracks are skips on albums, even if they're good. But I would listen to this. If I played it up, put it on the CD, I would never just like skip to the next track. Even though Xerxes might be an amazing track. And maybe when I hear this and see the plays and everything here, that it's like super popular, maybe I'd be like, I really want to get Xerxes, but this is a gorgeous song. Like, I think it's weird. I think this is on the same level as a Rapture. Like, I think it's amazing. Also, I think this feels like it's quicker than Rapture. Rapture's 3 minutes, and this is a 4-minute track. That's just an interlude. But if I'm being honest, this might be a 9.5. Like, the idea that it has such an amazing pace to it. And the textures and the tone of the guitar and all these. I love this. I love this. Do I even like it more than mine? Maybe. I love that. Mm. I can see why this is also beloved. The vocals are very similar, like Cherry Waves holding the earth. I love the electronic textures underneath these tracks. I love it. Yeah, I think this might be just their best album to me. It's like the energy is so captivating, but like patient. Yeah, it's a perfect track. I feel like that. I'll explain it a bit more, I guess. Like, I feel like this is the album that kind of showcases how great Deftones is, because with Around the Fur, if it was just Around the Fur as like an amazing album, right? It could be like, oh, they could do this ferocious energy really well. They could do this high octane ferocious energy, and how they mix that with like these sexed up sort of vocals and everything. It's like, you could say, oh, they could do that genre really well, and they did like one of the best in that genre, and they know how to do high, like ferocious energy. And then White Pony is kind of like, oh, well, I can do a more like commercial track, like track list. All of the there's less edge to it. It's polished a bit more. It's a bit more compressed to me, which is why I'm going to relay it to this. But like, and I think this is better than White Pony. But it's like a bit more compressed. It's like a cleaner album. It's like, for the mainstream, everything like that, it's like, I can understand why this is the album that everyone loves. It kind of reminds me of Bruce Springsteen. Everyone, like all critics, everyone loves Born to Run. But Bruce Springsteen fans and I would say The Darkness on the Edge of Town is the best. And to be fair, everyone can pick, like, there's Bruce Springsteen has such an amazing catalog that people can point to a lot of albums. Kind of similar to Deftones in that regard, actually, because I think there's some people that say Koi is their favorite. But with it, yeah, White Pony to me is kind of like Born to Run. It's like, yes, I can see why this is like the critically acclaimed album, and this is why this is the one that everyone talks about, because it feels like it boils down the nu metal, the Deftones, into this really digestible package, where like Around the Fur has a bit of edge and roughness to it, where it's like, if you don't love, like, if you're not a fan of the genre, I can see how some of the aspects of it could turn you off a bit. And if they don't turn you off, I could be like, okay, I can see how you could like it because of the ferocious energy. White Pony, very clean, polished, more well packaged maybe for like a mainstream sort of audience. But with this, I feel like this album actually showcases like patience, where like they're not just focusing on the fact that Sheena has a really good voice and they can make like a very well packaged version of like an Around the Fur, and they can do ferocious energy. They can do patient, emotional like energy that pierces you, and it showcases just like another layer to their songwriting, to how they construct songs and albums and stuff like that. Like, it showcases how multifaceted they are, that they are able to make an album this fucking amazing in a very different style to the White Pony and Around the Fur. It's just, this is like, there would already be a great band with Around the Fur, White Pony, but it's like, this showcases like just how fucking perfect of a band they are. I love how large this sounds. It's so punchy. In case of emergency, break the Chino singing and it'll work. I'm not a massive fan of how like disjointed this track feels. I know that's kind of the point, but maybe just in this album, because it's just been so pristine and beautiful. Yeah, case of emergency, break it, and your voice is going to just serenade you into bliss. Ooh. Ooh. I really liked that. Ooh. This is building it up. Like the first and second verse were a bit wonky to me. The vocals were amazing on the chorus, and then this is really nice. It's building itself. It just sounds a bit more compressed than the other tracks. Until this comes in, I guess. I'll go like 8.5. I think it's great. It's like an 8.5 for me. Also, I see the next track, rating on album of the year. Bit of a spoiler, because it goes from 0 to 100. It's user scores, so nothing can actually ever be 100. But you have like Cherry Waves at a 96. You have Hole in the Earth at a 95. You have this track at an 81. And then you have Pink Cell Phone at a 41. I'm fucking terrified. Why is that track considered genuinely bad? Like, all of the other tracks are considered like some of the best of all time, so, in some regards. And then Pink Cell Phone is rated lower than like the worst thing you can imagine. Why? Because not even Lucky You from Self-Titled is rated that low, and that's because it's different. Alright, this is definitely different. Alright. The Californian aspects are coming through here. I don't hate it so much. It's just so interesting. You know, I'm gonna pause this. I think this is the same as the last album. I spoke about this. Lucky You on the self-titled. I feel like people just get fucking jump scared by Californian alt rock from around this time. Like, with a bunch of bands like maybe not Superfine because they're more Weezer coded, but if you go like Far, which is like an underground like 90s fucking post-hardcore album from California, Louis Says, all that sort of stuff, they always do this. This is just the Californian sound. It's something I don't think is necessarily translated as to the mainstream as much or whatever, but with me delving into a lot more of like the 90s Californian sound, with bands and stuff like that, doing a lot of albums there, they all have stuff like this, and this is a well done version of it. So I understand, because it just feels like it comes out of left field, but it's one of those examples, weirdly, where I usually don't have any expertise on like the backgrounds of these bands, but thankfully I've listened to like 30 albums from around around Deftones times of like the 90s, 2000s, of underground, specifically of where they're from. And this is just a very common thing. They will have like, I don't know this, it's like sort of electronic. I don't know what trip hop is. It's like, but they'll have these like Chibo Mato, I think that's a person, Cibo Mato or something like that. I haven't actually listened to one of their albums. I've heard a song of theirs. You'll have these like interlaced into these like new metal, post-hardcore, alternative rock like albums. You'll have these elements, which you kind of saw in some of the earlier tracks. There was like these electronic little through lines that came in. I think it was on Beware and the Konami Code. You had those, but it's just so not to the forefront as like this track, But this isn't out of left field to me, so it's not like it doesn't ruin the experience. It's like, actually, it kind of makes me like Deftones more, because both of these two albums feel like there's a distinct choice, that they have one track that is so of their origins, you know? And by origins, not like their usual sound of like nu metal, but like their origins of where they're from. I like it. It gives me a bit of a respect for them, even if the album, like, even if this track might actually be a lower rated one. It's just, I like it a lot. The vocals still sound really nice on this. Belly Love is another band from that era. I think Nickel as well. Velvet Chain is another band from that era. I don't think Sprung Monkey, but maybe. I like this. It's just quite well made.
Pursuing the wrong ideals and goals that lead you into sickness unto and from this sickness sprang the belief in the one true power. That cure that promised to erase the symptoms that stood between you and your goal. That seductive
I actually really like this.
relief and comfort without disturbing the
I was just like
system of your beliefs.
an act from the band.
Forever and ever. One nation under the Father, the Son, and the
it's cheeky too, which is another Californian thing. Like, that's why Weezer and Green Day sound a bit cheeky, you know? Like all of it, like none of this surprises me because of where they're from. Like, isn't Afro Man from like California as well? It's a bit long, I will say. Yeah.
Hot calling. I turned that into a verb. Hope you appreciate it. Carling.
Who is this person, though?
Carling Academy. It's the school where you go to.
Also, I would say this is more in line of like an interlude, because it's a bit of a skit.
Because they're uncircumcised, and that is just disgusting. So they have to butt fuck, which also is disgusting, because that extra foreskin trapped all the germs and the poop and the butt fucking residue and sin. And that is why British people have bad teeth.
Alright. It was a bit odd at the end there, but they saved it by making fun of the British. And that is one thing that Americans and Australians can all unite on, is the Brit bongers. Yeah. I don't know how I'd rate this track. I feel like it's a good track. But it's also like a bit of a skit. Like, do I rate it do I rate it lower because of the skit stuff? I don't rate skits, I don't rate interludes. Because the way that I do averages is the way that I do album ratings is averages. And it just, they're not as important as the tracks. I'm not sure. I think at this point I will say NA for that. But I would actually say I'd probably give it like a 7.5. Like, I don't even think it's that bad. I think it's pretty good. Like, it's also well produced. I kind of like this electronic sort of stuff. It's cool. I don't think it makes for like as much of a perfect record as it could be, but like I enjoy it. Ooh, this is like classic. This is around the birth. Ooh, I like this a lot. The vocal is very similar to Shire Waves. I feel like if it didn't have the first minute, this might be a 9.5, 10. Like near 10. I really like this track. I think I like it more than mine if it didn't have the minute intro. Which I still like the minute intro, it just does make it perfect. I'm really sad they're not playing it this at the concert. I'm going to a concert tomorrow. And they're not playing a single song from Saturday Night Wrist. I'll give this a 9.5. Like, the energy is fucking killer. Like, I think I'd like it around the same level as mine, including the intro. Fucking amazing. Ooh, this has like a brightness to it I like. This feels like a perfect track, kind of like Cersei's to me. Does this have a lot of streams? Oh yeah, of course. It's like perfect. It also reminds me of 2000 so much, which I really like. Very nostalgic. It sounds so soundtracky, but in like a really beautiful way. Ooh. I like that a lot. The guitarist is really nice. What? Another point where like the guitar's filled. Like some of the best on the album. And like the way they do the vocal effects and processing is so sick. This is a perfect track. This is a fucking 10, dude. This album is so good. I feel like it's underrated, but that might just be a layman opinion because maybe I just haven't heard them too much, right? But this album is like, I don't know if it will have the same. It's not gonna. It doesn't seem like it's gonna average out to a 10. Even if I think I might point Beware and Hole in the Earth to 11, I'm still doing the math here. I don't think it averages out to a 10, but I think it averages out to like a 9.9, 9.8. And the second highest rated album is a 9.3 with White Pony. I think, yeah. And Around the Fur's a 10. This, even if like it's a tiny, like as I said, it's 0.1 below average rating to Around the Fur, I'd probably put this as my number one. It's hard to say. I would say it's maybe 1A, 1B then. Like, this is just incredible. This is like Around the Fur, and this is like kind of handedly the best Deftones album so far. Like to me, maybe Koi will do something. Maybe Dime Dies will do something. According to critics, Ohm's the highest rated for some fucking reason. Granted, most Deftones fans don't seem to love that album. So I don't think that's going to be it. And I don't think Gore's going to be it, it seems. I really like Private Music, though. That one's on the same level. It's like a 9.2, and White Pony is a 9.3. Actually, Private Music is really good. But it's 1A, 1B. I think, like, unless Diamond Eyes and Koi do a fucking scissor kick to my head and shake up the entire game, it seems like the two best Deftones albums to me, pretty handily, is Saturday Night Wrist and Around the Fur. It also helps that they have the best album covers. Granted, Private Music's album cover is really good too. I love how pretty everything sounds. I kind of just love this. Also, my partner loves the bonus track drive because it's a, I think it's Susie and the Banshees cover, maybe? I actually don't know which band. So, I'm gonna listen to that one too. This one, for me, it's like a 9.5 for me. I think it's just fucking amazing. It might even be high on a red list. It's really good. Deftones drive. So, I'm gonna play this one. Let's go. Hopefully this works. Yep. I'll look up which band, because I don't want to be, like, too stupid. Drive. Okay. Cardigans? I've heard of the Cardigans, I think. I don't think I've heard anything of the Cardigans. Ooh, this is cute. I can tell why it's a bonus track, because it doesn't have the same sort of atmosphere. It kind of leans more into like the pink cell phone sort of vibe.
Who's gonna tell you when it's too late? Who's gonna tell you things
Ooh, I really like this.
aren't so great?
Ooh,
Go on,
this is really well made.
nothing's wrong.
Ooh, I like this a lot.
Who's gonna drive you home
Ooh.
tonight?
Oh, I love it.
Who's gonna pick you up when you fall? Who's gonna hang it up when you call? Who's gonna pay attention to your dreams?
I love this.
Who's gonna plug you
It's so cute. I haven't had this since my partner said
when you
when to do this album. When to do this album, like, make sure you do drive the bonus track, because like they went through this album at some point too, holding us to the favorite track of Deftones, but drive they really love too, and it just makes me love them more. Like, I don't know, like I've never heard this track. They never showed it to me or anything like that. This cover, I love it. They're so cute. Pretty little. Pretty cool.
You can't go on thinking that nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home
I really like this.
tonight? Who's gonna hold you down?
It's so well produced too. Like it has that level of quality that like the other ones have.
And who's gonna come around when you
Like the
break?
cherry waves and stuff. Like this is really immaculately made.
You can't go on
It feels like the perfect version of like that Californian sound I was talking about with Pink Cell Phone, because it's more in that lane, but it's done better.
who's gonna drive you home tonight? You can't go on
Like, this is a 10. This album is so good. Dude, I'm in love with this. I'm in love with this band. This is Deftones at their best. Looking at reviews, it seems like the only thing that could maybe dethrone like this and Around the Fur as my favorite albums is like Koi, because apparently, like I just read a review then that Koi is apparently like Saturday Night Wrist. And it's like, if that's the case, fuck, I'm probably gonna love Koi so much. This is Deftones. This is what Deftones is to me. It's just perfect. I absolutely love it. Also, if you guys want to see more Deftones, I can only do Patreon requests, and no one has requested Deftones. Deftones is the only artist alongside with Wu-Tang that I've done myself on my own accord. And I think Fiona Apple, it's Fiona Apple, Deftones, and Wu-Tang are the ones I've only done by myself, like on my own accord. And I don't know if I don't like. I have so many albums that I have to get to because there's 200 people requesting a month that I don't think I don't know if I can keep it up. So if you guys want to see more Deftones, I would love if you guys subbed to Patreon. It just needs one person because it's $5 you get to request an album. Well, there's more tiers and stuff like that. It might be $8 for Deftones stuff because of their length. But yeah, I absolutely love it. So if you want to see more Deftones, they're also one of the bands that I'm going to upload monthly. So even some of the other requests, they might take like 2 months to get to because I have so many to do. But with Deftones, they're always going to be done within the month or close to, because I upload Deftones once a month because they're one of the classic album artists. I have at the start of every month or near the start of every month, I have one artist from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s and 2020s that I do. And at the moment, Deftones is the 2000s, so I'm going to be doing that. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely fucking adore this album, and Deftones is incredible. Yeah, I love you guys so much.